Hey everyone, Ed here from Graveyard Excursions, and today we are at Mount Moriah Cemetery in Deadwood, South Dakota. And if you know anything about my other YouTube channel, The Great Indoors, you'll probably know that we are vacationing out here in Deadwood. But today it's all about checking out the graveyard over here for Calamity Jane, Wild Bill Hickok, and other legendary Western celebrities, I guess you could say. But we gotta go up this little walkway over here, and this is a beautiful cemetery over here. It was $2 per person to get in, and it's probably one of the steepest cemeteries that I've ever been to. Look at all these graves the way they're just in the hillside like that. Okay, if you ever come here, this is what you got to look for. They have little placards. Letter B over here, and B is on the map right there. We're going to keep on walking down up that hill over there, and we'll look for G, which is where Wild Bill is located, along with Calamity Jane. They're right next to each other, I believe. All right. The gentleman at the admissions desk was saying that we have a beautiful view of Deadwood from the end over here, so I'm going to try to get that into this video as well. This is a beautiful area. Deadwood is basically surrounded by mountainous areas. I think this is like the Black Hills of South Dakota through here, or whatever it is. It's beautiful. And there's Michelle. Okay, we are very close. There's some placards over here. You got Wild Bill, James Butler Hickok, alias Wild Bill, born May 27th, 1837, and he died on that fateful day, August 2nd, 1876. And buried right next to him is Martha Jane Burke, alias Calamity Jane, and she passed away in 1903. You were reading up on Calamity Jane a little bit. Right. You kind of liked the way she was, because what did you learn?
She was 16 years old, and she was supporting her siblings, her brothers and sisters, and because her parents have deceased, and she was taking odds and end jobs, and she thought she could come to Deadwood for a better life.
Well, she hooked up with Wild Bill Hickok and did, they were cattle rustling and doing odds and ends, but she was like the woman that liked to dress up in men's clothes. She was
right.
a tough woman, and she just did whatever she had to survive. She was a survivor. And a lot of people think that she was the one that was responsible for killing James McCall, the man who did shoot Wild Bill Hickok, but that was not true. She was actually killed. She was actually in prison during that time, military prison, when James McCall, the killer of Wild Bill, was actually shot.
Yes.
So that was not true. She was not responsible for avenging Wild Bill.
Okay, but if you look, he died the 2nd of August.
Right.
She died August 1st, so she couldn't have done it.
Well, no, you look at the years, 1876 and 1903, Michelle.
Oh,
but it is kind of a coincidence that they died almost on the same date, But she did, like Wild Bill, but I don't think they were romantically involved or anything like that. She just basically idolized him, because Wild Bill was like a celebrity back then,
Yeah.
He was a guy that did whatever. He was a soldier. He was a lawman. He was
probably really good looking.
He was a gunfighter. He was the Tom Cruise of the late 1800s, I don't know. Yeah, we're going to go see the new the new Mission Impossible 7 now, okay? All right, let's get up there and check out his grave. Like, comment, and subscribe to Graveyard Excursions, as we are here at Mount Moriah Cemetery in Deadwood, South Dakota. We got to go up these steps. If, Michelle, you don't want to climb these steps, I'll understand. And here is James Butler Hickok, otherwise known as Wild Bill Hickok, Again, died August 2nd, 1876. The previous day he was playing cards at his local saloon, Saloon 10, I believe they called it. And he was doing well, like he normally did. And he was playing cards against James McCall, and he was cleaning him out. James McCall was also intoxicated. And he wanted to give some money to James McCall so he could get something to eat and hopefully sober up a little bit. Well, I guess apparently James McCall he didn't like that. For some reason, that upset him that he was given money from Wild Bill. Well, anyway, the next day comes rolling around, and Wild Bill is back at it playing cards, but he didn't get there as early as he wanted to because he liked to sit facing the entrance to the bar, okay? But on that day, someone was already sitting in his seat, so he literally had to have his back to the door. And that's when James McCall entered and saw Wild Bill sitting there with his back to him, took out his pistol and shot him in the back of the head, and he died instantly. In fact, one of the guys that was sitting at the table actually got the ricochet and got shot in his wrist. The bullet went clean through his head. And James McCall, the shooter, was immediately arrested. And then he basically got off because he said that he was avenging a death of a family member that he thinks was Wild Bill. Now, there was a person in his family, James McCall's family, who was killed by an undisclosed person. So they basically let James McCall off because they felt he was just avenging the death of a family member. That's how things went back in the day, all right? Anyway, a few weeks later, James McCall is going around and around talking about how he killed Wild Bill and bragging about it. Well, wouldn't you know it, that's how things went back then. He got arrested again, and he was put up on charges of murder, and this time the charges stuck. And James McCall was sentenced to death by hanging, and that's the name of that tune, okay? That's how things were back in the day. Deadwood was really not, organized yet. It was still pretty wild back then. And it was pretty much a Native American area, So it was pretty lawless back there. So at least, Wild Bill's death was avenged. Eventually, But, James Butler Hickok always felt that he would eventually meet his demise here in Deadwood. Calamity Jane, on the other hand, she passed away in a mining accident, and on her dying day, when she knew she wasn't going to make it, she requested that she be buried next to Wild Bill, and that's why they are next to each other, because she always looked up to him, and so she's buried right next to him, and I think that's pretty cool. So there you go. That's the little story of why Wild Bill Hickok, he was playing Aces 8 when he got shot in the back of the head. And that's why they call Aces 8 offsuit, I believe, Dead Man's Hand. Thank you, Michelle, for your help with the Calamity Jane thing. She is a inspiration to women, I would say. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, for being a tomboy back in the day.
Yeah.
Instead of dressing up like...
Let's go see if we could find that aerial shot, Michelle, where we could get a nice pan view of Deadwood. I think it's up that way. Like, comment, and subscribe to Graveyard Excursions. Check out this grave over here. Thomas Green, born the 19th of 1881, and died in 1881. Oh my God, not even a year old. That's horrible. Wow. Tough life living out here. You know, there was no given that you were going to make it to age 16. Disease was rampant. The mortality rate was off the charts in those days. They didn't have, you know, insulin or anything like that. A lot of simple cuts and bruises could be deadly if not treated properly, you know.
Okay, this is beautiful right here, Ed.
Yeah.
In between the trees.
It's kind of sad when you see a grave by itself way down there, though, you know. Dr. Flora H. Stanford, 1838 to 1901. Well, now you're not forgotten. You're now part of our video over here. Look at this headstone down here. That's kind of crazy looking over there. Let's go check it out. Boy, I don't know if this is what this stone looked like when it was first erected, but David Sundell, 1900 to 1951. It looks like a tree stump. Doesn't it look like a tree? Like a petrified tree? But that's all rock. Yeah, those are the, it's cut off. Maybe he was like a woodsman or something like that. Who knows? If I could find some information on that, I'll put it into the video over there. But that is very interesting. And here is the aerial view of Deadwood, South Dakota. I gotta cut these trees down so we can see better. I'm just kidding. Isn't this beautiful? I was just talking to a gentleman from Australia, Perth, no less, and it's the winter time in Australia right now, so he's on summer vacation or winter vacation here in America. What better place to go than to South Dakota? Deadwood, man. Beautiful. Alright, it's getting crowded here, so I'm going to let you guys go. Yeah, I think this tour bus just came and unloaded all these people, and I don't think any of them speak English, because I was trying to talk to them, and they're all like looking at me like, huh? So anyway, we're going to end the video here. Thank you all for watching another episode of Graveyard Excursions. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, please, by all means, subscribe. I only have, I don't know, 15 subscribers. So help me out, please. I want to get this channel off the ground. All right. I'm going all the way to South Dakota to make videos for you guys, because there's more coming your way from out west over here. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay safe.